This is the podcast, let's go. Guys, to all of my guys out there who are going bald, if you are losing your hair, if you have lost your hair, if you're worried about losing your hair, if you just love bald things in general, this is the podcast for you. I'm so excited to get this podcast started. We're starting at a fantastic time with this podcast. We've got 81 beautiful subscribers over on YouTube, and we've got 281 followers on Instagram, and this is day one. This is episode 1 of the Bald Podcast. Welcome, such a big welcome to the podcast. I am Harry James, that is my name. I am bald and I am starting my own movement, hoping to create a positive environment, a positive place, general positivity surrounding baldness, surrounding going bald. You can watch my videos on YouTube. You can watch the video version of the podcast over on the YouTube channel. The channel name is Simply Bald. And of course, you are now listening to the audio version of the Bald Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. A very quick background about my own personal story and why I am starting the podcast and why I started this movement in general. If you're already a follower of the YouTube channel, you will know this, but here we go. My name is Harry James and I moved to China about 4 years ago. Now, I had beautiful dark brown hair for a long time. I even had long hair, short hair, short on the sides. I went for all the different styles. I had good hair. In fact, I had bloody good hair. But my father, my fantastic father, had no hair. He was rocking that horseshoe for forever, ever since I've known him, okay? Because he went bald at age 22, 23, I do believe. And stick around for the podcast and on the YouTube channel because my wonderful father will be featured in episode 2 of the podcast. That is coming up next month. That is going to be so good. It's going to be titled Balding, a Father and Son Story. So be on the lookout for that. As I said, he was going bald. So I was, of course, worried that I was going to go bald myself. But I had a fantastic hairline for as long as I could remember. Oh, to my surprise, one day I noticed whilst filming a video that the hair on the back of my head was falling out. Now, these were dark times. Most things in my life at that time were pretty good, nothing fantastic, but everything was cushy, as we say. And this was news to me, okay? This was big news. I felt terrible. I can kind of joke about it now and I feel upbeat when I speak about it, but at the time I remember just how awful I felt. I literally thought my life had changed forever. I thought, holy hell, I'm going to look ugly as anything. No one's going to love me. I'm just going to look stupid. I don't want to look like a horrible bald man. Funny story, I went to Pattaya like 3 years before that. And in Pattaya, Thailand, there are so many European bald dudes, about 50, 60-year-olds, creeping around the bars there, looking for things to do, if you like. And I was like, I'm just going to look like one of those guys. And I didn't want to fit into that stereotype of that bald, white European guy. And I felt awful, right? I rang up my friends, I messaged my friends, I spoke to my dad, and I was like, I'm going bald, I don't know what to do about it. And it felt horrible, okay? I was embarrassed about it, I was ashamed about it. I've said before in previous videos on the YouTube channel, I used to be conscious when I walked down the street that people were looking at the back of my head, and I used to sit in my Chinese class. I used to either sit at the very back or I would sit with my head against the wall so that no one could see. I would walk around every day constantly touching the top of my head. I would be playing with my hair all the time to make sure that bald spot was covered. Of course it wasn't, but I did my best and it just felt horrible. The whole thing was a complete disaster. And then I spoke to my dad and he said, look, son, there are plenty of worse things that could be happening to you. There's nothing you can do about it. Just get on with it. And it took me a long time to get there, okay? It took me a long time to get to this place where I'm now confident. I feel good about it. It's not a challenge to me anymore when people make comments about my hair or saying, oh, you look so much better with hair, Why do you shave your hair off? Ha, you've got no hair. It's just not even an issue anymore. I feel fine about it. I can laugh about it myself. In fact, I don't even need to laugh about it. I just say, yeah, I'm bald now. That's what I'm doing. That's how it is. End of story. And so I started this bald movement kind of by accident. Now, I finally got over my baldness. A lot of help came from guys on YouTube who had shared their own stories, and I found a plethora of guys on YouTube that were saying, look, I know how it felt, but eventually I got to a place where I just shaved off my head. I said, sod it, I'm not going to worry about it anymore. And when I shaved off that head, it felt liberating. I felt like a totally different guy, and I didn't even need to worry about it anymore, and you should do the same. And, you know, there was guys on there that were just putting it straight. They were saying to me, man up, get on with it. There are worse things that could be happening. Take that hair off and just get on with your life. And so fast forward a year later, you know, I managed to get to a place myself where I felt fine about my own boldness. And then I was making YouTube videos where I was reviewing apps. And now one of my old friends from university, they said to me, yo, when are you going to review the app that can bring back your hair? And I thought, oh, funny one you are. But I took this comment and I thought, yo, I'm going to go on the Apple Store, and I'm going to see if there's any apps to do with boldness. Lo and behold, I found this app that you could Photoshop in hair and beards and tattoos and whatnot. And it really got me thinking. And I said, whoa, like, just stop. This is ridiculous. And I made this review about this app, and I basically said to guys, look, if there's anyone out there who's actually considering using an app like this, where you feel so ashamed by the way you look, you're gonna use this app to Photoshop in hair so that people don't know that you're bald, there's something wrong with that. And so I wanted to share my story. So in this video where I was reviewing this app, I shared my own balding story, you know, like I said about the video and how I discovered it and how I got over it. And the response from this video from both friends and strangers was fantastic. Loads of people loved it. They said, thank you for the advice. Like, it really helped. And it got me thinking. I thought, I should take this further and I should share with people more of my own story, and I should show people that they can also get to this place where I'm at today, where being bald is not an issue, it's not a negative thing in my life, and if anything now, it's actually a positive thing in my life, because it's kind of given me this goal to help out as many guys as I can. And so we're doing it through the Instagram, through the YouTube videos, and now through this podcast. So like I said, this is a fantastic time. I feel fantastic about it all. It's just great. Now, where are we going with this? Well, like this guy on YouTube, okay, one of the guys on YouTube was called Max De Silva, and his video really helped me out specifically. So big thanks to that guy. Go check him out if you are interested. His name is Max De Silva. And so he really helped me out, like I said. So the videos are going well, okay? The videos are going well, and I'm also getting a load of messages from guys on Instagram, which is really spurring me on to go further and further and further. So be prepared for loads of interviews with different people. The great thing about this whole bold community is there are people that aren't going to agree with me. There are people that are going to say, no, the best way to get over balding is to get a hair system, or to get a hair transplant, or just to wear hats, or you should stick with the hair for as long as you can, okay? Don't be defeated. A lot of people think it's defeatism. They think, oh, if you just shave your hair off, you've lost the battle, you're giving into the boldness. And just straight off the bat here, I completely disagree. I am in the camp of, if you are walking around and you're feeling ashamed about your hair, you feel upset, you feel depressed, the best way to get over it is to take action. You get out that razor, you take the remaining hair that you have, you take it off. It's liberating, and it's just the fact that now you don't have any hair to worry about. It forces you to just get on with it. It really worked for me. It's worked for a lot of guys, and I think if guys just trusted this process and they kind of get the confidence to just go for it, it doesn't take long after you shave off this hair for you to realize, oh, I should have done this a lot sooner. Okay, I've heard that, I've seen it from so many guys where they say, I wish I had just taken the hair off sooner and got on with my life. And that is the message that I am here to spread. But I want to do it in a organized way, and so I want to hear the stories of all the different people as well. So be prepared for all those things to come on the podcast and on the YouTube channel. Now, I feel especially passionate about this because together with all the positive comments and messages that I get on YouTube and on Instagram, I still see so many, for all the positives I get, there are thousands more of negative comments on all the videos, mainly on YouTube, that are to do with balding, where people are giving advice about, how you should cover it up, how you should, cover it up. Like I said, there's so many people giving advice that say that, you should use this topical solution, or you should use this, what's that powder that you can get? You can put on that sprinkle powder that makes it look like you've got more hair, or you should have this type of haircut. But the problem with that is you're always hiding from it, and you never get that mental break. You're just constantly hiding from this thing that you just shouldn't be hiding from. Going bald is not a negative thing. It's very natural for a lot of guys to go bald, and it really miffs me, It really winds me up that there are so many guys that feel so awful about going bald, and the whole the stigma, and there's a lot of guys who aren't bald that try to ridicule and put down guys who are going bald, and it really winds me up, and I just want these people who are maybe less confident than I am, or who feel at this very moment in time less confident than I do about going bald. I just want those guys to realize that going bald is not the end of your life, and in fact it's completely insignificant for a lot of people. In a nutshell, there are so many worse things that could be happening to you. Let's give an example here, right? There are people on YouTube who are documenting the end of their days, right? There are people on YouTube, young guys and girls, we're talking 25 or 30 or 40, young people that have, things like terminal cancer, and they're putting out videos and vlogging the last days of their life. And then there's people on YouTube who, or not even on YouTube, there's just people in life who are losing their hair, and they're trying to compare these two things. There's people that are commenting saying, I'm never going to find a girl to date, or because I'm bald, or going bald is the worst thing. I'd rather die than go bald, and I want to kill myself because I'm losing my hair. And don't get me wrong, these are real issues for a lot of people. There are genuinely guys out there who feel so awful that they're losing their hair that they actually, this is true. This is a real problem. There are genuinely people that think I want to kill myself because I'm going bald, and to me that is just awful and crazy, and just it shouldn't be happening. And so this is why I'm starting this personally to change the minds or the mindset of these people and other people who generally sort of comment and feel negative about going bald. So that is what this is all about. So as you can tell, there's loads and loads and loads of content that's going to be covered both here on the podcast and on the YouTube channel. This has just been a very brief, quick introduction going into a little bit more in depth about what's to come, what I'm trying to achieve here with the podcast and the YouTube channel. I want to thank you so much for listening. I want to thank all the guys who have got in touch already, and I really encourage you to get in touch either, at the moment via Instagram. The Instagram handle is @bald.inc.inc. Okay, so BALD.inc. And of course, you can leave me a comment here on YouTube. If you're confident enough to do so, leave a public comment. Please get in touch. The more people talk about this issue, the more people share how they really feel about it, and the more people like me who share their stories about how they overcome it. And if we can just get these stories to as many guys as we can who are struggling with this issue, the better. So that is what I'm here to do. Like I said, again, thank you so much for listening. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, then please subscribe to the channel, because the more people that can subscribe and comment and like on videos, basically the wider audience I can build and the more guys we can help out. Again, for all the podcast listeners, thank you so much for listening to this first podcast. I hope I aroused your interests on this topic. Maybe what I've said today is enough for a few guys out there who are dealing or struggling with this issue to think, oh, you know, this guy he's got a point. You know, I've been really worried about myself going bald, when actually there are so many other people out there who have worse issues than me losing my hair. You know what? I'm going to shave it off and get on with my life. If that's you, then fantastic. You are fantastic. Don't worry about your hair going bald. You rock. Go for it. So tune in for the next episode coming soon. That's going to be a sit-down interview with my own father. That's going to be super interesting. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's create an awesome community. Let's help out all those guys, young, old, Asian, African, English, wherever you're from, whoever you are. Let's help you out if you're struggling with this baldness issue that just shouldn't even be an issue for you. Let's do this. I will see you in the next episode. I've been Harry James for Bald. Goodbye.